So I'm back over on YouTube. I did some testing with Twitch, and this thing ran just fine, streaming with Twitch with no problems. So we're gonna let this go on. I'm gonna let this go for a little bit here. I'm gonna cut my my video off for a second, but I will be here. Let's see if we can just leave this guy standing here doing nothing. Okay, so I'm back, but I don't have Twitch up and running at this point in time. This is YouTube only, and I think it's running. Yeah, it looks like it's happening. I have to check to see if the video catches up. Yeah, so it just put me on there. That's interesting. Yeah, this is. I think this is going to be a problem with. It's the dual streaming setup, maybe. So I'm going to go ahead and just play as it is. I have some fuel here. I need to fuel this guy up. I don't know what I did with the rest of my fuel, but I'm going to go back to what I was doing for a little while. I guess I need to take the titanium out of my inventory here, too. I don't know how many scouts we have up here. Okay, so we have more fuel. That's not a problem. I have plenty of fuel. I am wearing soft step boots. I don't really plan to do anything massive in the desert anyway, but... So really, all I'm going to do now is just... I'm just going to play the game. And this is just going to be YouTube only at this point. Whatever that's worth. My poor Twitch people. I'm going to go back up to the deep desert, and I'm going to go into the middle section, and I'm going to map that one out too, and then I'm going to go out to B and C, which was my goal. And, you know, we'll just let this go for a while. Got a couple hours, and if I can get this to stream without any problems on YouTube alone, then that's one more step in understanding why it's struggling. I might go up to the dual streaming plugin authors GitHub as well and see if anybody has indicated there are any problems recently. That can happen. And then you're behind the curve. I think there's an alternative that I can use for dual streaming too. The issue is at some point in time there's a paid service for dual streaming, multi-streaming. Then I could stream on TikTok. I'm not sure I want to stream on TikTok, but you know, maybe that's what we want to do. Hey, Bearpaw Journeys. Did you just join? Oh, because the train wreck happened. The streaming train wreck happened this morning. Okay, where did I come in? So I'm on the far right-hand side? Yeah, let's map this out. I'm just mapping out some of this stuff to see kind of how many resources are up here. I was dual streaming like I have been for, I don't know, 6-7 months. And the streaming software just lost its mind again. The same thing happened earlier this week. It's really kind of crazy, but it stops encoding. It's like it's stomping all over itself. So I turned off Twitch. I streamed on Twitch for like 10 or 15 minutes, just Twitch, because Twitch I can just turn on and off, right? It's not really scheduled, that kind of thing. And I've just and there were no problems just on Twitch, and so now I'm just doing YouTube, and I'm going to do this for an hour or two. And if I don't have any problems with this, then I know where the problem is. So. Oh, and by the way, yeah, here we are up in the middle of, yeah, we're just on a ledge. We're on a freaking ledge, and there's like titanium and strontium up here. It's everywhere. Yeah, so it looked good. I streamed, I was saying earlier, like, when I first started, I did a full live stream, and this is like me defending myself. I'm like, you can do a private live stream on YouTube, right? So, and all the encoding happens, all the stuff behind the scenes happens, that kind of thing. And it all gets pushed up to YouTube, and it's not visible to the public, right? And I did that at the same time I was doing a full bandwidth test over to Twitch, right? Because you can turn on a special mode on Twitch. You change your streaming key. And so at that point in time, I'm capturing, encoding, recording, and transmitting to two sources. And I did that for an hour plus with no problems at all. But for some reason, when I go live, within a couple of minutes, I got both of them up and running. The encoder starts going crazy. Like, it just loses its mind. And I think probably it's keeping up for a while, and then it hits a point where it's no longer able to keep up, and then at that point, all hell breaks loose. And it turns into a slideshow, which is great, so. Anyway, nice to see you, Bear Paws. It's been a weird week, that's all I can say. It's been a weird 2 weeks at this point. I lost air conditioning in my office studio. I've been through a couple of iterations of trying to get that working, and I've got somebody coming out next week. I finally had to take the plunge. I have to replace an entire unit, inside, outside, the whole friggin' works. And in the meantime, I had to move my entire studio between floors, and I don't think that's changed anything, because I had this problem before I moved, but it was unbearably hot where I was. So it's been a weird week, like, you know. I had to sleep at a different location because there's no air conditioning where I would normally be, so. How high up are we? Let's be somewhere else. Okay. So the A row is absolutely jam-packed with titanium and strontium. I guess that's what we're gonna say. That's the story. Let me get over here. So we mapped that one out. I just need to come over here someplace. I mean, you can see it on the ground. It's outside the PvP ship. It's just everywhere. So I guess that issue is now closed. The 20-something nodes that were out in the rows, you know, between B and the lower half of E that kept getting capped every week. And I don't think that happened on everybody's server, which is interesting, because one of the nice things, if I'm looking for the upside of it, was lost my air conditioner, couldn't stream, but I could still get online and, like, you know, keep up with what was going on in different social media forums, and, like, you know, people have different experiences, right? So there's some servers out there where people are not kind of capping resource nodes, or I was just going to land there and farm those. Is there a ship nearby I missed? I don't know what it's doing. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to map this zone. I don't need those resources. So that's kind of, yeah. I assume when I hear that noise that I've actually entered a PvP zone, but maybe not. I don't know. Don't know. Anyway, so I got to read some stuff online, and it's funny, like, So this particular server has a certain profile, and there are some people out here who I think are just griefing other people. They're just killing people who are nearby. You know, and you can see it in the chat, like, you know, if they just spot somebody flying somewhere, there's a group of them that'll just go attack them. They're not competing over resources in any way, shape, or form. They're just, you know, they have brought with them from some other game this philosophy that says everyone you see should be attacked and killed because that's gameplay or something. And that might be in another game. That is not what the Funcom people keep saying again and again and again. They have a very specific image for what's going on over here, and it's not happening, so they have kind of changed it. I'm still not dropping any frames over here, so there's one skipped frame, so let's see how that goes. I don't even know. Do I even have any resources in here? I don't even know why I'm picking these up. I guess, you know, you pick them up because they're here. I feel like I should participate in the crazy rush for resources, although I don't feel like it's urgent right now, right? That's another interesting thing I kept reading people say. They're like, there's this whole PvE, PvP conflict, which I'm not entirely sure if it's, you know, it's just constructed in people's minds or not, but, you get this one? Okay, so we have these zones are mapped. I don't have the last couple of zones mapped. Get this. But there are some people out there who are just like angry at each other, and angry at people they probably don't even know, and it's really weird. It's a strange dynamic going on. There are people that are mad that they changed people are mad about all sorts of crazy stuff. Hey, Sir Gardens a lot. If you just joined, you missed the earlier train wreck. I am just streaming on YouTube at the moment. When I brought up Twitch, it killed it again. I still have some software encoding problems going on over here. I don't know what. I don't know why. I've tested it, but for some reason when I go live is live. Not live is, you know, even the simulated stuff, even the bandwidth test to Twitch, and then also doing a private stream up to YouTube, just not triggering it. Go figure. So I did get to play the game, but I wasn't able to stream it for some reason. So right now I'm just doing some mapping and checking out the A row because I think it's been pretty well published at this point in time. Where did I come in? Am I on the far side? No, I'm right in the middle. Let's just go over here. I just need a high spot. There are a ton of titanium and strontium resources in here. The thing I want to go out and find out soon, after I get these mapped, is I'm going to go out to the base that I have, which is further out in Road D, I think, is where I left it. And we're going to hunt for medium spice blooms. It's early, so maybe we'll get something. But I'd just like to see if there's anything out there. I think they're going to go fast. Like one of the things I noticed in the past was the small spice blooms were happening in rows B through lower E, right? So there's plenty of small spice blooms all over the place. But they would go really fast. Although I will say that last week, as I was closing down my deep desert operations, it was kind of empty. Like, there was nobody out there. Like, there were spice pops, and nobody was going after them. Man, the number of bases that are out here is going to just explode, isn't it? Over here. So it'll be interesting to see if these changes this week bring more people from Haga Basin up to the deep desert and get them to do more up here, whether it's building bases or otherwise. I honestly think that Funcom has to. They really have to bring people up here. Part of that is I would say game performance, Unreal UE5 game performance issues. because our Haga Basin is it's just being packed with mega bases, just huge, monstrous bases that, from what I have read about the way UE5 works, are they can bog down your client because all sorts of things, even if it's not rendered, have to get processed and pushed back and forth to everybody that's in the area. And so there's some interesting kind of stuttering issues. And they did in the hotfix that came out just right after this, they did talk about fixing stuttering issues, but they said it was on low and medium graphics settings. I've seen them on ultra and high. And it was bad enough that I went out and I started to search and use, LLMs and try to find out, okay, like what causes stuttering, what can you change in the... There are some people, you can tweak some INI files, but yeah, using a bunch of fuel, great. But I think, essentially as people played along and they moved up out of Haga Basin South and they moved up into Vermilius and then up into the Ifrits and the Eastern Shield Wall, that they're just huge monster bases up there, and the performance in the area is kind of crazy. I would go into my private server that I rent and fly around the same space and use some performance software, and I would notice a 10% frame drop on the public servers. And higher CPU utilization. I think the CPU utilization was what was kind of killing it. So we have this. We have this one, we have this one, we want to come over here to this gap. That looks like a good spot. So it wasn't just graphics processing or something. It's not just like frame rates were dropping. It was literally a bunch of data was being shoved to the clients that had to be processed, that was inside buildings that you would never see, which, I didn't dig too much deeper than that, because once I tested it and I saw the effects, it seemed pretty real. Like, same machine, same hardware, different server. You could say maybe the server performance was different, but I don't think the private server I'm on is. I don't think it's really high performance. It's pretty. It's pretty restricted for a small user count. So it's always possible Funcom is over subscribing their servers, right? So they say like, oh, there should be more people. But when you look at dunestatus.com or some of the other sites that tell you how many people are playing at some point in time, player counts, the concurrent player counts are not high. So I don't think anybody's server has a problem with 40 people trying to play at the same time right now. As a matter of fact, most people are citing the fact that servers are underpopulated, and some people are hoping for consolidations. Let's go up here. Those people are usually complaining that there aren't enough people in the deep desert for them to shoot at. That's my opinion. Like, there's only two reasons you would complain about the number of people that exist on your server that I can think of. One is if you are focused on PvP and you want people to fight with, and you can't find anybody, right? I saw some people who are like, well, we've killed everybody in our deep desert, we've driven all the guilds away, and therefore we want a server transfer. And I'm like, okay, that's a different issue, right? The other group are people who are, they want to run test stations, but you need groups and they may or may not find them, or they want to form guilds and they can't find people. Those people at the bottom end of the kind of the curve coming up also want people, right, to come play the game, because they want more people to come play with, right? Okay, so I think we have all of A done. I don't even think I did anything at B. I just flew through B. Like, there's one path. I flew out to B and then mapped all this stuff out and put a little base out here. So I'm going to go, whatever, I'm just going to go over this way. Let's start to see what's out here. Anyway, so from a performance issue, I don't think it's concurrent players, and I don't think anybody is arguing that right now. They're not saying, Funcom has oversubscribed their player base. It's not like I guess in the U.S., a Gold's Gym, where they're like, this gym only holds 200 people, but we've sold 3,000 memberships. So, you know, you can show up and you can't get in. I don't think that's happening. I do think it's highly likely that they did not anticipate how many people were going to build giant, crazy bases. And the taxes aren't high enough to dissuade anybody. There's so much money in the game that Paga Basin looks like a city without a zoning board. It's just full of everything somebody can think of putting in there. And when you fly through, you can tell. However, that said, I've noticed in some areas the bases are disappearing, and it's getting a little better. So they have this long-term, you know, we're going to have this long-term kind of ebb and flow. Arab wave. That is a wonderful question, Arab wave. First of all, welcome. Let me find a spot out here. Oh, I didn't mean to fly over this guy's base that close. That's a really great question. So just to be 100% clear, the tier 6 armors and stuff that's out in the deep desert, you need spice melange and plastanium in order to build it, which means you also need spice infused plastanium, which comes from the test stations. Tier 5 is the early stage, or the level right below that. It's duraluminum phase, right? And so in order to get tier 5 armor, and there are two sets I really like. I need to land out here somewhere. I got it. I just want to double check. I appreciate that. That makes perfect sense, though. In order to get tier 5, I either go for the light armor set, which is at the edge of Acheron. I think it's called Acheron. I always want to say Archeron. So it's in Sheol, which is the last zone. Look, man, it's everywhere. Like I'm in B9, and there's resources out here. I'm going to land and map this. So in Sheol, there's a little chain of islands before you get to the radiation area, one of which is a Harkonnen PvP building. And you can... That was not what I wanted to do. Let's fly up through the poison. Can I poison myself? I mean, I can. I should have landed up there. So, Edge of Acheron is this, it's a black building, it's a Harkonnen building. It definitely looks Harkonnen, right? It's a PvP zone, but if you go in from the side, you can run in. There is a band on the top floor. There are enemies everywhere, so you either have to kill them all, or you have to be able to run in very quickly, get the band, and then run down to the lower level, and there's a chest there, and you can get the Syndicate outfit, which is this set right here. Syndicate helmet, chest plate, pants, gauntlets, and I have the boots. I'm wearing these in case I sit down on the sand. And this is really good tier 5 armor. This is a really nice set because it's got all these other mitigations like fire, blade, poison, energy, in addition like to darts and things like that. There's a ship falling. Like, tell me that doesn't look like it's going to fall on my head. That ship's going to fall on top of me, isn't it? No, it looks like it's going to go off to the side. So I like the Syndicate set, tier 5. It's a nice ship drop right there. I mean, I'm not complaining. It landed on the rocks. Hold on. Where's my ornithopter? Okay, I did not intend to go do this. So anyway, the tier 5 set Syndicate is nice at the edge of Acheron. And I think you can build that all with duraluminum components and things like that. I'd have to go back and check the recipe. This is fascinating. I have never seen this before. That ship landed on a rock. So we're just going to land nearby. There's, like, now we have no chance of... Like, I was never that worried about the worms on these things anyway, but I've never seen this, so we're just going to do this. There's no chance a worm's going to get us here, is it? How bizarre, man. Come on. Did they shorten that? That used to be a lot longer. Okay, so we took all that stuff. Hold on. That one's the same way. So that's the light armor set, Syndicate. The heavy armor set I like. There's two ways to get tier 5 heavy armor, one of which does require coming to AD, or row A. But the Atreides set is in Sheol as well. Get over here and let me get out of the sun. It is in Sheol as well, but it is in a, I think it's in a cave called the Grotto of Shatai or something like that. There's a very large landmass in the radiation zone, so you need a radiation suit to go down there. But then you can go inside, and there's a chest down inside, along with a lot of other interesting things. And that chest almost, I won't say always drops a piece of tier 5 heavy armor, but in many cases it drops a piece of tier 5 heavy armor. The Atreides heavy. And that's really good stuff. Is this, I'm not going to be able to reach that. So that's interesting. Can I reach that from here? No, I can't. If I can get this, I'm gonna be, yeah, so I can get to it. I can't believe that worked. Okay, that should work. Hold on, I'm just gonna do this because they're gonna let me. I don't need that, and quite frankly, I don't need that, and I don't need that. I could probably get away without those, but give me the rest of these. I definitely want those. I get all the time in the world, don't I? Complex machinery I don't need. Some of this stuff. Carbide blade. I like the rest of those. I don't need those. So what a strange thing to find. Yeah, kind of screwed, aren't I? I can't show you the map down here, but it is in the radiation area of the Sheol, and that's a very nice heavy armor set. If you come up to the A row of the deep desert and you do the shipwrecks, you can get Mendek's heavy armor set, which is also, I think it's the equivalent. It's like the PV. It's in shipwrecks, so it's kind of the PvP version of it. So there's slightly different specs, but it's good stuff. And you can get yourself to a good tier 5 set, which I have found is more than sufficient for doing the testing stations even out above the A row. Okay, I'm gonna go back up to this one. Maybe this is in the next sector. I'm just gonna map this stuff out. I'm actually looking for spice blooms. Like that's really like what I'm looking for is a medium spice bloom. The D2 station. Yeah. So yeah, that's where you want to go, right? Eventually, so the progression is, you know, you get what you can out of Haga Basin in the duraluminum stage, T5. You can come up to the A row usually once you're at that. Like I wouldn't try to do the A row testing stations with lower armor than that. You can do it if you're careful or you have a group. If you have a group, you can do a lot of this stuff pretty easily. That's a great way to progress, right? And then you can start to pick up extra. That's not what I want. You can start to pick up the extra pieces in the A row of the deep desert. The testing stations that are below E, well, I haven't looked at them since the drop, so I assume they're still the same. They have blueprints. They have tier 6 blueprints, and also I've gotten tier 6 blueprints out of the shipwrecks. I didn't this time. And I just brought it up just a second ago. I need to go stay. I need to hide in this out of the sun. The Landsrad is also a great place to get those tier 6 blueprints, and then it doesn't really require going anywhere deep in the deep desert either. So my backpack's full. Am I in the shade here? I am in the shade. So like at the Landsrad this week, if you look at it, there's a good one right there. I don't know that I'm going to deliver a bunch of Regis Kindles, but if you did, you could get pincushion pants. Pincushion chest piece right there for doing spice-infused steel dust. Think about that. Like, you can do the math on it. Especially if your side didn't win this week or last week, you get a bonus. So just, you know, do 10,500 divided by 75, and you can get a pincushion chest piece resource, or a recipe, blueprint. I have a full set of tier 6 blueprints. I haven't built them yet. I haven't been in a big hurry to do it. I just need to run more test stations. I pretty much had most of the materials I needed anyway as far as plastinium and spice melange goes, so you can get that. And then you need spice-infused plastinium out of the test stations to do that. Or you could go into shipwrecks, which I don't know. We had some shipwrecks in the lower half of the deep desert, I think a week or so ago. But between the Landsrad, you can get tier 6 armor recipes and weapon recipes. When your side has won the Landsrad, so we can go do armor this week, we'll go check that out as well. And there'll be some... I think maybe you can get the power gloves. There's a set of gloves. It's all available. I mean, it's all there. Which to me is Funcom largely delivering on their promise that they want everybody to be able to experience the endgame and play the endgame. I guess I would have to go look at exactly how they phrased it, but my impression was they think that regardless of your play style and how you want to do this, you should be able to get access to all these things in some way, shape, or form. They've merely said on a couple of occasions it might be grindier, right? Like, it's going to take more time. Which is fine. If that's the way you want to play, then that's... I mean, I play that way. I don't mind grinding resources, material, recipes. It doesn't matter to me. What I don't like, and I don't think it's even possible anymore, is landing on the sand in a PvE area and having somebody try to land their ornithopter on top of me to pin me down and put a thumper down there because they've decided that's how the game is played. And I'm like, it's not. Like, I don't know how much clearer they could be about what they think PvP should be, but they just keep patching this out. So, like, people do things and then Funcom patches it out, and I don't have any other... Seems kind of obvious to me. But, like I said, when I was... I still don't have any problems here. This thing's doing YouTube just fine. I'm going to have to find a dual streaming solution. Yeah, here's the funny thing about this base. Back before they just dropped this update this week, there's a titanium node next to this base. So this is what I'd been doing for weeks, was I would leave it out in the open so anybody that wanted to could come get it. And I would just kind of we would protect nodes. And I don't have to do that anymore, which is kind of fantastic, really. I don't have to worry about that. What's going on here? Yeah, he's been clearing sites too. So this is a guild member who's been up here doing this. I don't think I left these here. Anyway. So you're saying D4. I think I was over there earlier. Right there. That's the one. So there's a testing station in D4. Top right-hand corner. Right there. There might be another one. It's not right here, though. There's a map. You can go get it. Well, we have shipwrecks out here. So these are in the D row. So there's shipwrecks in the D row. Those will be PvP zones, which is, you know, no big deal. I will say I've been in them, and I found, you know, the enemies are tougher. It's like the enemies are more difficult in this. I know some people are doing this solo. Although I've seen it looks challenging to me, like just because of the waves. You would have to have your you'd have to have, I think, your build down pretty well. I've seen some people do this solo and they're like, oh, it's real easy, and then you dig into it and they're in T6 gear, and you know they've kind of, you know, they've got a nice meta build for the deep desert and for doing this kind of thing so that they can fight multiple enemies in this kind of environment. So I'm not saying it's not possible, but I looked at it and I said, I don't have my build set for it, and I don't have the gear set for it really. So I haven't tried to solo them. I go over there when there's other people around and either do them together or try to get some people and just, you know, put the word out in chat and say, let's all go do it. It usually works. But I think, you know, the same thing happened with the A row for me, which was when I first came up and I didn't have tier 5 gear. I came up to the A row, and I remember going into one of the test stations and getting all the way to the final room. And I'm looking through that pentashield that you have to, you know, when you go through, it's one way, right? And like once you're in, you're in. And I saw like 4 or 5 enemies in there. And there was no way I was, you know, in the gear I had at the time, there was no way I was going to be able to beat the 4 or 5 enemies on the A row in a testing station with the gear that I had and my own tactics and experience. Now, at this point, I can do anything in the A row, and I'm comfortable even going into rooms that have, you know, 4 or 5 enemies with myself and clearing those. But I'm still not at the point where I go do the testing stations in row D as a solo. But I haven't kind of rushed up, and I'm not, you know, I haven't even built some of the blueprints I have because I'm playing the game. As far as I'm concerned, I'm just, you know, exploring it week to week to see what's happening. What sector am I in? I don't even know. It doesn't know what sector I'm in. Yeah, I just want to map this out. I'm just mapping these just for completion's sake. I mean, I get experience off of it too, so that's all right. So, and I am disappointed that my my dual streaming is off the table for right now. I don't know. I might try that restream service. I have 2 options. I know it's kind of inside baseball. Maybe nobody cares, but there is a service. There's at least one service. Oh, look at that base. Oh, they have their carrier up here. So they're in the C row with a carrier. Yeah, great. Nothing wrong with that. So I have 2 options. One is there's a service. There's at least one service. I haven't looked at it in a little while. Although I think it might limit the resolution you can stream at. Like, you can dual stream for free, both in 720p, and I don't like that. I need to at least do 1080p. I thought about it. I'd love to go to 1440, but I clearly couldn't do that performance-wise. But if you want to go to 3 services, let's say if I wanted to add, I don't know, Kick or TikTok or something, right? Now you've got a paid service, which is not terrible, but, and I'd do that. It wasn't necessary. I was getting by with what I was doing before until literally last week, where it stopped working. I don't know why, but the price is right. I didn't pay for that software. It was it's all, you know, OBS and free software. So you use the free software until you can't use the free software. And the other alternative from a restreaming service that does the dual streaming and multi-streaming for me would be to offload all the streaming to another, like to a laptop or something. And that's an option too. I just haven't gone down that route. That's a little more expensive to get another piece of equipment or redeploy something. But then my gaming PC is not doing any real encoding, and it's not. It's just not carrying the workload, which means the graphics card isn't having any problems. Anyway, there are technical solutions. I'll get back on dual streaming Twitch soon enough. I have other issues in my environment I have to deal with, like my air conditioner. That's gonna sometime early next week. This whole place, I'm gonna have people coming in and out, and I'm not gonna be able to do something there. Hey, I do like the. I can see that ship up there, like flying over the moon. There's another ship right up there. You can always see the ships in orbit. What's going on with that little one there? Is that coming through? I don't know what it's doing. Anyway, welcome to the live stream. If you would be so kind, hit the like button. If you are not subscribed and you want to find out every time I go live, especially when I'm trying to test something. I haven't done this either. I guess I haven't done this sector. I guess I should fly down here. I have a thirst problem. I'm not drinking enough. I should be in a still suit for this little exercise, but I don't care. Although I guess I should also do this, right? I haven't been looking at the resources. Yeah, there's titanium. It's out here too. It's everywhere. No spice blooms yet, right? No spicy good times. We have more resources, but no spicy good times. I don't know why those are still in my inventory. I guess I didn't take them out. Well, I think it definitely means that a lot more players can come up and populate the lower half of the deep desert. They can start to get resources. I think it means that more people are going to be going into the test stations, which means there are more opportunities for people to get together. I also think that encourages people to form groups and, you know, kind of step by step get closer and closer to guilds and that kind of thing. Because if they come up here and they start running test stations with groups successfully, I think they're more likely to, that's not what I wanted to do at all. They're more likely to join up with the same players again and again, start to get to know people within their siege and within their deep desert. I think it's all positive. And some of them might eventually gear up to the level where they can cross into the northern half of the deep desert and compete for large spice blooms and for some of the other resources. So positive so far. I think the spice piece is still kind of. I did just map it, didn't I? Oh, I wasn't even mapping this one. Like, we haven't seen any spice blooms yet, have we? So like, is this the right sector? No. I need to be over here. I'll tell you what I haven't seen are did they move the control points? Oh, I guess I'm in B and C right now. There probably aren't a lot of control points in B and C, are there? Can I map from here? I don't know. It doesn't look very tall to me. Okay, just stand on top. He doesn't want to stand on top. I don't know why. I don't care. Just stand anywhere. Doesn't matter. Stand, man. There you go. So, and I assume that's what Funcom is watching, right? Funcom knows every player's maximum progression, like, and they can aggregate that, and they can tell do players reach this point? It's not just, like, we see the achievements, right? It's pretty easy for us to go see our own achievements in the game, and then we can also look at the, like, global achievements. Funcom has layers below that, and they can look at it and say, well, how do we nudge another 10% of the player base into the deep desert? How do we get another 20% over? And then they can ask, and maybe, oh, there is a control point right there. I must have flown around. I didn't fly over it or around it, but that's good too. Just go here. Then they can try to figure out, like, if we can get them into the deep desert for a couple of weeks, how do we nudge them further and further? How do we get them engaged in the end game that we have designed and we anticipate being the most fun? And I still think that in December, like whenever we get new content, right? I think December's a commonly cited target for new content. I still think they have the opportunity on the overland map to drop in new PvP sections, new PvE sections. It'd be fun. Like, a lot of people set up... did I just fly over the top of that? I just flew over the top of that and did not flag for PvP. Maybe they changed that too. Before it was like you could fly, I mean, you had to be really high. I thought you had to be really, really high in order to fly over the top of some of that stuff and not trigger it. I mean, clearly I'm not trying to contest that control point, but I need to find a control point and fly closer to it and see how close you can get. Figure out what the barrier is around it. I think that's useful to know. Hey, Frank. No, I think you're 100% right. And just like they said, like, it might be grindy, but if it's okay, like, that's just the game for players. One of the weirdest things I see in some of the side conversations people are having, look at that friggin' titanium just on a little rock out here, is this, you know, people talking past each other. They're like, the one that really gets me, and because I am for the most part a PvE player most of the time. I'm gonna look over here. This imagination that some PvP players, no group is a monolith. You can't say everybody's the same way. First of all, I'm just going to say that right off the bat. They're like, well, all the PvE players, the moment they get the final gear, they're just going to quit. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I just restart games and play through again. Like, I have survival crafting games that have no PvP in them that I have 1,000+ hours in. Because I'll play it back through, and it's almost like a role-playing game thing. Like, when I was younger, I played D&D, and you kind of made all that up, right? So you just kind of, oh, I'm going to play it this way, and this is going to be the nature of my character. And you could play the whole game again, just focusing on a different class or something like that. Did I not do that? Oh, I didn't. I'm just talking. I'm just talking and not scanning. So yeah, like, I'm asking them in chat on DD. I haven't looked up what the drops are this week, but I got... So, like, here's the thing. I'll show you in just a second. I've seen people say they're trying to collect all the blueprints. I'm not... I mean, I'm interested, but, like, my blueprint inventory right now, in the Plastinium phase, I have the Desert Garb, and this is the one I want to build. I'm going to build Idaho's Charge, because I think it's a pretty good light armor piece. I have pincushion gauntlets, pincushion helmet, pincushion pants, pincushion boots. I could go try to get that pincushion chest piece this week, but I would probably rather have Idaho's Charge. So I'm just going to build these over time, which means, and I need Spice Infused Plastinium Dust, which I think I already have. I may even have all the ingredients I need for these. I just haven't bothered to build them. I do have this. I have the Ancient Way, so I can have that. So, like, the blueprints are out here in the testing stations. The blueprints are available on the Lansra. Like, there's the still suit if you want it. And these aren't that hard to do, honestly. They really aren't. Kill deserters. It's really, I think it's hard to get 10,000 points killing deserters. But if you want to do, what's another one? I mean, I'll look for another one here. The replica pulse sword. That's a great sword. Deliver calibrated servox. Calibrated servox are pretty generic. You know, like you can get them in like Haga Rift, and you can farm them. And you might already have thousands of them, I don't know, right? And you can go turn them in even after this thing's been claimed, which this one has. You have all week to get the replica pulse sword. And then you just have to get the materials to build it. First cave I have run in DD. And you ran a cave. The caves are great. The caves have, there's tier 6 materials, so the caves, the shipwrecks. Have you done any treasure hunting? Because the treasure hunting is a lot of fun too, honestly. If you can go down and scan the desert floor and you'll see the treasure and just land and uncover it. And you're extremely rich. LG1T. Yeah, there you go. I don't know. All I will say is I think the changes I've seen so far are positive for the game. I also, and I absolutely believe this, and I'm one of these people who keeps talking about, like, and I say this because probably because it offends the griefers, like, I talk about legitimate PvP players, because, and here's why I think PvP is important. I'll tell you why I think PvP is important in general across all games. That's one thing. And then the other is why it's important in Dune Awakening. I do believe, and we're seeing this right now, that the way that they balance the game and the resources, that there is an issue with how many resources you can get. If there was no PvP whatsoever, or let's say the large spice blooms or some of the bigger sites, they get stripped clean faster than you can do it, right? So we already have that kind of issue now. You have to be fast and nimble to get resources, even in the PvE areas. You gotta go after it. Although the titanium strontium now are kind of overloaded, right? So there's a balance issue that Funcom literally has to make sure the game balances out so that you can play the game with the number of players that are here, and everybody can kind of get what they need in the pacing that they want. And they're doing that. I'm 100% convinced, right? But the real value in PvP, in my personal view, in an age of AI and LLMs, where we are going to see more and more games with more and more AI-generated content, is that there's value in playing against other humans. Combat and otherwise. Strategy, combat, whatever it happens to be. Different games, are going to use it in other ways. And I think that's going to continue to be interesting to people. Like, the AI, the PvE side of it, will get augmented with AI, and the let's say the tactics of the opposing players. Thank you so much, Candy Carton. Oh my god, that's incredible. You are incredible. Look at all those memberships going out. You're my hero, I swear. Wonderful. You've been a member for a while too. Now I'm distracted by such a generous act. It's absolutely wonderful. So wonderful. I need to put more members-only content out there. Like the stuff I put out. I just put one out there the other day. Most of my members-only content, go check out the videos. It's about the channel and how it's growing, right? The one yesterday, I kind of went into my my personal air conditioning problems. So, enjoy. It's getting better. It's not the worst thing that can happen. These are luxury issues, right? I have a place to live. Everything is good, right? It just got really hot for a while. So we'll put some more stuff out there. Bunch of new members. That's wonderful. Thanks for joining. Glad you're here. Glad you were here for that generous gifts from Candy Cartons. Did I already map that too? Where's my scanner here? So anyway, I think there's a very real and valuable place for PvP, where people decide, and that is consent based. It's like you decide you want to play against other players. Unfortunately, and I think this is the real problem that Dune Awakening has, is you can't control what some people decide they think PvP means, and that's like human society, right? You can't make a law for everything. You can't make a law for everything. And so you do end up relying on people's kind of ethical, moral frameworks. Like, is it reasonable to attack people who aren't attacking you? There are people in this game who think that is the game. They do. They come from other games. Some of those people were raiding bases because they could lead an NPC into it and get him to destroy things. And they work really hard in their own minds to justify that behavior, because in some other game, base raiding is super important, and that's not what's going on in this game. And so Funcom patched that out, right? And we're just going to see that. But there's a very real part of PvP that is important and enjoyable gameplay, and but it has to be something you deliberately want to get in. And I will, I'll die on that hill. I'll always say that. I've always said that. And the more AI stuff we see, the more people are going to value the ability to play against another human player and really kind of test themselves. Like, that's true competition, right? It's why, think about it in the real world. Do you want to watch... Actually, I shouldn't say that, because I would want to watch that. Like, boxing is a popular sport. All the Olympic combat sports, those are great, but they're very structured and organized, and we love competition like that. I was going to say, like, do you want to watch robots fight? And I'm like, I absolutely want to watch robots fight, so that's probably not a good example, right? Do you want to watch a human fight a robot? I don't know about that, right? Like, if we get robots that are... Some of that could be brutal, right? So I think there's always a place for human-to-human competition that is entertaining and fun for everybody involved, and even for spectators. So that's all worth seeing. But you've got your edge cases you have to deal with. So we'll let this, this will run for a month or so, and we'll see how this goes, right? I assume we'll get another patch in September, and by then there'll be 3 more exploits that somebody's figured out how to abuse something. It's probably already happening right now. All I can say is play the game the way you like to play it. Be aware that not everybody else wants to play it exactly the way you want to play it, and some of those people feel like they should intrude upon your play. I personally I'm pretty happy with Funcom's response. I'm a little stunned. Some of the stuff they do fast. I'm... Like the, what's the one they just fixed? The one about the NPCs, the base rating thing? They put out the public test branch, and it was not in it, and then that hit Reddit and YouTube, and they had something, they put something out there pretty quickly, which was amazing to me. Still no spice. I gotta go north. I'm in the C row. I'm not sure I should expect any spice out here anyway, but going to be gone. I think I just mapped the whole B road. No, I'm wrong. 1, 2, 3. Get down here. Get out of the sun. Map this. I half expect to see titanium on this little spot down here. No. Still, everything out here is going to be useful, I think. I feel parched. I'm not carrying scrap metal or anything, am I? No. Just remember, Candy Cartons, as a member, you can get to the Discord channel. The members-only Discord channel. And I do prioritize members when it comes to joining the guild and the private server. I have a private server for Dune Awakening, and I let members onto that, so you just have to find me on Discord and let me know you're interested. And I think I'm going to set up another private server for... I know G-Portal does Enshrouded. I do use G-Portal. I do have affiliate links probably in the description as well. I went to them and I I paid for my Dune Awakening private server myself originally, and then I did like the experience so much that I went ahead and signed up as an affiliate with them. I think they do a nice job. I'm very happy with them. They were very reasonable, helpful, friendly people. Oh, there's the flower sand issue. I haven't been watching the chat over here. Maybe they're... I'll be interested to see if they upgrade. There's a big so look at that. There's a huge titanium. It's not a titanium island, really, but it's full of titanium. I don't... Seriously, look at this. Oh, I'm trying to map the sector, so I should map over here. No, there's people over there that want to go out and do the testing station, so... There you go. There's cooperative gameplay. People are getting together in the testing station. Row D. Just a worm. Yep. Resources everywhere. Oh, chat. Never change. Actually, the chat this morning is actually much higher brow than it is sometimes. There's a group of people here that spend a lot of time talking about putting spice in places I don't think you should put spice. But, you know, that's me. This is mainly just people talking about playing the game together, which is cool. Oh, there's a cave here, too. Cervidium, cave, all that good stuff. Okay, I'm going to do this one, and then loop back around and get those two. But I think I've proven the point. I just haven't found any... I haven't found any spice. Sand. SB, yeah, I don't even like spicy food. Let alone putting spice in places it shouldn't go. Yeah. I swear, some of that is like don't get me wrong. I thought 8th grade was funny too, and I made those kind of jokes back then. I'm not saying I'm better than that. I'm just maybe saying I'm older now. Some of it's interesting. Some of it's not. Well, that's just nothing but sand over there, man. Is that, am I close enough to the edge? Oh, I need to go over here anyway. I'm gonna go land on those rocks. No, the only problem is it's the evening crowd too. I think they're probably the ones that are more. But they say the same thing all the time. Like, it's not like they're not coming up with new material. So it's a little childish and pedantic. Pedantic? I don't even know if that's the right word. It's just silly. And it's repetitive. If it was not repetitive, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But I don't play a lot of multiplayer games, so maybe I don't understand. Maybe that's the only thing people talk about in chat. But out in the sun. Oh, wrong one. Map. Okay. There's nothing in here anyway. I feel. So I haven't even heard any spice pop anywhere. Like even to, like, I thought they would show up even to the north, right? That's my expectation, is I should see them in the distance, but... So what we did last week, and it's been a couple of days since Ripper and I went out, was very often in the deep desert there are corridors that don't have much in the way of resources in them. So there's not a lot of traffic. There aren't other players. So if you have any concerns about being attacked, you just go where people aren't, right? That's the idea, right? Funcom keeps saying repeatedly, again and again and again and again, but their goal is to attract people to places where there are resources, and then that they would have PvP over those resources in those places, right? And so if you go to the places where there aren't resources, arguably you're not going to run into people. And so you can find these corridors, usually like the far left-hand column and the far right-hand column of the map. There's less. And then there's one, there's usually one right up the middle, off this, offset a little bit. And you can fly through those at a high altitude, and there's really nobody around. And even if you ran into somebody, they probably couldn't get to you. And then then you can find other resources. So you can find medium spice blooms up around the edges, and there's nobody there. And I think you can do that even at different times of the day. So we got this one mapped out too. Is there anything over here? Well, that really looks like there's a ton of stuff. Yeah, we'll see what's over there. Oh, my calendars are going off. I had to turn all my phones on so that they all make alerting noises, because I was dealing with outside vendors for I get bids on air conditioning and things like that. So I have like a lot of alerts happening all the time right now, far more than I normally do. I wonder if there's a control point over here. This is a different looking configuration. I mean, so Funcom did this. They stacked a bunch of things on top of each other. So that's a regular island in the middle, and then they put some of these rock structures around it. It's nice. But yeah, look at that. All the resources. So what we would do, what in the guild, what we would do is two of us, we just kind of did the traditional one person flies over the top while you're farming spice, and the other one lands and collects all the spice, and then you swap places and fill up your ornithopter. And we get thousands. I mean, we didn't have any problem getting it. But we also went up to an area that wasn't really well populated. It's not like we flew to Titanium Island and said, we're going to farm that. Like, I'm not sure I would... Again, that doesn't even matter anymore, right? But we're going to have the same issue with spice, which is where does the spice, where do you go for spice? How much can you get and when? You know what? Hold on. Is this inside the zone? It is. I should be able to land right here. And so you could fly up, and we made multiple trips and just filled up on it, and we were able to, and again, this is part of the progression too, right? So you go through this whole progression where you start off with a Mark IV ornithopter. You could come to the Deep Desert, but you probably shouldn't until you're like, at least flying Mark V, and then you're working up towards Mark VI components, and then you're working up towards the Mark VI, bigger pieces. You were on D4, you died and lost everything. Just now? How did you die and lose everything? Was it the worm? Or did somebody find a way to attack you in the process of doing a test station? I was going to say that at that point you kind of fall back to the other tactic. Hold on a second. Hold on. There's a ship. I highly recommend hold on. I was going to get that ship. Dude, what are you doing? I wonder if somebody's already cleared this thing. This thing might get there's a very... Oh yeah, I see you, buddy. I see the worm sign, I get it. He might be coming to get this thing. I was going to land and try to farm that. But that was going to happen right there. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I was going right in. I was about to land on it and try to open it up, but it was already past the cycle. Somebody already cleared that one. Okay, I'm glad I didn't do that. I'm glad that was not something I did. Yeah, I'm not real clear. I don't understand. So inside the station, everything is gone. I don't understand. So if you leave your... Did you leave your ornithopter outside? There is something I'm a little concerned about. Because one of the things that the griefers have done is to shove vehicles out into the sand, but I wouldn't think they would do that. Now, if you die and respawn, you have to respawn someplace in the deep desert. If you respawn back in Haga Basin, you will lose everything. But I thought it was supposed to warn you. So one of the things I do when I should land someplace. Hold on, let me get this done over here. I'll sell you an Ancient Way blueprint for 10 million. That seems like a great deal. Did you went back to Haga Basin? Yeah, that sucks, man. That absolutely sucks. One of the things I do at the start of the week when I get to the deep desert is I make a respawn beacon right away, and then I go to one of those taxi sites, which are now on the map. They weren't on the map a couple weeks ago. And I usually find a place nearby, and I put my respawn beacon down near a taxi site. That's before I even build a base. So that I have some place in here. And then, I think you're supposed to, if you build a base out here in the deep desert, and it's the first one on the map, it will automatically become a respawn point, but I always feel like opening up the sub-thief and checking to see if it's a respawn point, but I think it's automatic now. That didn't used to be the case either. They did that a couple weeks ago. So, build a respawn beacon, put it down near one of the taxis. In case you die, you can come back in. But I thought, even when you came in, there should have been one in the list that would be like where you entered the deep desert. Now, it may not be obvious when you're respawning when you die, which one you're picking, which can be a problem. But if you go back to Haga Basin, yeah, that's unfortunate. Sorry that happened to you. Oh, wait, I'm lost here. Okay, I'm going to go over here. I only have two more left. Is that one more? I have two more left. There's a line right here. There's titanium on this little island, too. It's everywhere. So, plenty of titanium. No spice. Yeah, the other thing I do, and this is like a balance. This is a weird balance. Is I'm at the point where I have a decent still suit. I think I have a. I went silent, like my audio dropped. That's weird because it looks like it's live here. Wow. Yeah, I don't know, man. That part should be working. I'm not getting drop frames or anything over here. Part should not fall apart. Audio hardwired in. Thank you, Candy Carton. Yeah, I don't know what that was. I need to land on a thing. No, what I was saying is the other thing that I do when I come into the deep desert is I have a nice still suit that I got in row A. The A4, A5 stations, they drop this Saturnine still suit. It's great, but I don't like to risk it in the deep desert, so I build a, I build the mercenary still suit, and I'll wear that because I'm okay just throwing it away. And then you strip, and I've never like stripped down, like I don't farm spice naked, or you know, in my underwear kind of thing. Oh crap! Is this high enough? Might not be high enough. Okay, I gotta go land someplace else. So this is not a good example, but normally like I don't wear this stuff out here unless I'm gonna go do test stations, and I'll just have like a mercenary still suit, and I will have almost nothing in my inventory that isn't replaceable. The Ornithopter is the Ornithopter is replaceable too, but I'm not one of those people that says you should just be willing to lose a bunch of them. I try not to lose stuff I built, right? It takes a little bit of time. But I'm a little more comfortable, like, I try to have backups of all these too. And then you keep anything and everything on your inventory. So at least if you die in the deep desert and you can respawn in the deep desert, you're not losing anything even in PvP. So that's one strategy I've used. If you respawn back between zones, you'll lose everything. Or if the worm gets you, or if somebody manages to feed you to a worm somehow, like they, as they like to euphemistically say, I fed someone to the worm, or they're just griefing them. You could lose everything all at once. And if you feel so inclined, putting a respawn beacon down right outside of the test station is always popular too. I think I'm on the line here. Is that a tall one? That might be inside the zone I want to be in. Thanks, Frank. Appreciate it. I'm like super nervous these days about all the frickin' technical problems. I'll figure it out. I didn't want to have to use like a restreaming service, but maybe I will. It's not that much. It's like a monthly fee. And then I'll stream on TikTok and all the young people will see me. That's honestly what I'm sure that's what I need to do. I'm in the wrong sector. I need to map this sector anyway. Actually, I know a guy. I mean, I just know him online because he's another streamer who does TikTok. I think he does it really well. I could probably go ask him for some tips. I think he does a nice job. He's another mature gamer, which I gotta love. There's a couple things you can look for. Mature gamers. You can look for Gen X gamers who don't give a crap about anything. Oh, hold on. Back up here. That's my impression. There's a lot of weird mythology around Gen X people. I'm about to wear out my survey probe, but I'm done, I think. I just need to find a place over here I can scan, right? Is there anything that's like higher than I thought I was on the highest point. I guess I'll just land on a sand dune. I love landing on sand dunes. Not down there. Can we find some treasure? Pardon me. Okay, let's do this. We'll land on top of our ship. We'll stand on the sand dune. There's no spice in the deep desert. There's none where I've flown so far. I need to go back up to the E and the D row. I frankly, I haven't been in the right rows. I don't really expect any medium spice in A, B, or in B or C. But I was curious. Let's get further up in the air. Okay, I've got all this mapped out now. Every piece of it. Where's my base? So we're right there. So this row's good. Oh, I'm missing some E rows. Let's go up here. Maybe there's some spice up here. Where's my spicy time? LG, are those larges? I haven't... With the stuff going on outside of the game, I haven't even had time to fly north this week. Like, I literally flew up Tuesday, built a tiny base, made a couple of trips back and forth, did some testing, and it's been a terrible couple of weeks for me. Oh, hold on. We're going. Let's find out. Is it a small? Is it a medium? Do I have, like, I have no capacity in this thing. I'm like, oh, they just jumped me out of the map. I think I'm in D. Yeah, this is a low row. I'm gonna bet that's a small. But I don't know. I could be pleasantly surprised. I can't see through it. It's a medium, man. And we're already here, man. This is the other thing I wanted to see, which is... oh, my backpack. Oh, crap. That guy, yeah, so you saw that guy, you saw what he did? Like, he had compacted like 20 piles right off the bat. Right? So he was just filling up his inventory. I don't have enough room for anything. I'm not going to be able to get much of anything anyway. Yeah, he's just... I mean, I'm not criticizing the guy, but that hasn't been my approach. I don't have enough inventory space anyway. I'm not prepared for this, but it doesn't matter. Proved my point. I'm not worried about it anymore. That's a medium. That is absolutely a medium spice bloom right here. And that's on the D row. So that's all I really needed to know. I'm not worried about it. If those things are popping, the rest of it's just spending your time, spending a little time showing up and doing the work and picking up spice. I have to go back to my little base over here. I'm going to go to my base. I'm going to drop off anything and everything I can, and if there's some there when I come back, I'll come back and get it. That guy's gonna pick up whatever he can. I don't care. So yeah, in rows E and below, you can get spice, you can get plastinium, you can get blueprints. And unless they find some way to, keep you from harvesting that, you don't have to go into the northern part if you don't feel like it. And now you could start to have a conversation about whether, people want to go PvP each other or not. I'm gonna do the shipwreck. I'm gonna try this too, by the way. I'm gonna fly right over that shipwreck at about 750 and see if I get flagged. Okay, so I am level 185. Oh, I'm at 664. I'm right over the top of a shipwreck, and I'm not flagged. Okay, let's go down. I don't even know. There were some PvE shipwrecks, which was kind of a trip. 500 meters. 400. There you go. Below 400 meters, it was going to flag me. So you can fly over a shipwreck without getting flagged. That's a pretty big improvement if that's not a bug. And I need to do the same thing with a... is there a... So where's my base? My base is here. Is there... I don't know where there are any... the 3 shipwrecks? Oh, there's 3 markers. I don't care. I need to find a control point and do the same thing. Because if the control points don't flag you as PvP unless you get below 400 meters, that's a major improvement too. It has always seemed kind of silly to me that, like, I'm clearly not trying to take over a control point, but I just kind of get too close to it and they flag me as I'm going from place to place. I mean, it hasn't been a problem. It's not like people are flying up to attack you, but it just didn't make any sense. And if they fix that, then that's great. LG says, yeah, I when I'm live streaming, I don't have the map up. I should do it in advance. So, you know, keep a copy on it. I've got a tablet over here I could have it up and running on, but what's your other comment? Honestly, other than the large spice fields, a few blueprints, the rest of the DD map is worthless. The rest of the DD map is, and I'm going to say this in exactly the way I heard it said by Joel Bylos. That is where PvP is allowed to happen. It's allowed to happen. It can happen. It doesn't say that it must happen, but essentially for people who want to PvP, you can go there and then you can find other people and you can engage in that with them. And that's the other half of what Funcom keeps telling us, is they say, if you choose to engage in it, they want it to be predictable and they want it to be smooth and they want the combat to be nice and all that other good stuff, right? There's no place in the world where they say we're trying to recreate nullsec or somebody else's video game. They're just not doing that. But what they're saying is, if you want to do it, we want it to be fun and enjoyable for you. Oh, there's half the reason I've got no space. I just have... Oh, hold on. Let me get rid of this. Those are legitimate. I don't want those at all. Let's get rid of that. Put that in here. I don't care about that. I like the boots. I don't need those. So the northern half of the desert, at least for now, can be a place where if you choose to, you can do PvP with other people and have fun doing PvP with other people. I still take exception with the belief that somehow if you cross the magical line in the desert, anything goes and you can be, you know, attacked for no reason. That's not the intention. They've made that very clear too. Let me do a little organizing. And I think if they can't get the player base to kind of keep their... to keep to the vision they have, what we'll end up with is a statement that was made in the original PvE transition statement that says it's nothing but the large spice blooms, the control points, and maybe some testing stations and shipwrecks. Because they could flip the switch. They could flip the switch on that, and it's just those those points of interest. There's no technical difficulty doing it. But I think what they're doing is it's an incremental approach. They're watching people abuse the things that they don't want them to do. They're trying to patch and fix that, but then they're kind of ratcheting it back. And if this works, maybe this can stay this way indefinitely, right? But that's not a guarantee. It could get, they could get more restricted. I still think, and this is pure speculation on my part, that if they launch, let's say, an arena or battleground off of the world map somewhere, if they were to do something like that, that would be the moment that they would take the rest of the deep desert and ratchet it down so that PvP was only allowed or could only happen in smaller places. But I think that they're in no, I don't think they're in a rush. They just want to make sure they're not bleeding players because one group is harassing or griefing another group. And just to be blunt, they use the term griefing in their patch notes. They are speaking specifically about griefing. And I think they have to, because when they just talk about exploits, people just talk about, they down select and they think, oh, they're just talking about the dupers. I'm like, no, griefing is exploits. It really is. It is an exploitation of a game mechanic that they built for one purpose that somebody is using for a purpose they do not intend. So they put lots of things in the game. Somehow this issue's never been resolved. I don't know why they never quite get that fixed, do they? So I've seen people argue bumpering people into the desert is just normal PvP. I'm like, I don't think that's what they intended for that to be. The Thumper has a specific use and intention within spice farming. They may not have a way to keep you from using it in a different way, but I'm not sure it's meant to destroy other people's equipment. That is griefing, right? Now, if you're in the middle of a spice field and you're in the middle of a war and that kind of thing and you're having that fight, maybe. But if you're in the PvE zone and you're using it that way, griefing. Definitely griefing. It's no different than building bases, right? There was a case in the developer live stream. No, I think it was an interview. It might have been an interview with maybe Co-Carnage, I don't know. Yeah, it was Co-Carnage. So he's doing an interview, another spice bloom in the lower half. And they were talking about a player who got stuck and was respawning at a specific place in the deep desert, and other players built a base on top of them and just kept killing them because they had them trapped in there. That's griefing. Building bases is a perfectly legitimate part of the game. It's a mechanic that's built into the game. It's useful for most things that are legitimate and expected. But people found a way to use it and misuse it in order to deliberately target someone else to sabotage their game, which is exactly the language they use in the End User License Agreement, Section 7, Player Conduct, Part Q, I think, something like that. So they have opinions about that stuff. There you go, LG. Every time they do that, Funcom's going to ratchet it down. But it's probably going to take another month. Unless it's bad. I'm curious how they're doing that. So they're griefing bases in PvE areas with thumpers. I can't say I'm surprised, but... Oh, hold on. And a carrier. I'm real surprised. I don't know, how do they get the carrier in the base? Yeah, Frank, I think that's always an option for them. I don't think Funcom has pulled the trigger on that yet, but they know it. They know it's exactly what they can do. And the more this continues, I think the more they're going to do that. Because I don't think Funcom's going to decide, we want to be some other game, right? I think they're going to look at it, and it's actually a trend. That's a nice base. Look at that. I wonder if they've got enough freaking water. I just want a place to land. And is that the line? Interesting. Well, I guess I'm going to land on top of somebody else's base. Oh, there's a control point. How close can I get? It's pretty close, man. I like the sound. The sound's kind of cool. I'm not sure that these guys have built in a PvP zone. Maybe I'm getting flagged by the control point. I don't know. I have no idea what's happening on it. Oh, do I even have a... I do. I have one of these with me. They're going to tell me I'm too low. No, I can do it. Oh, vehicles out to the sand. So they managed to shove them out there. That's the thing I think I was talking about earlier when I thought Arab Wave. I was like, if you leave your vehicle outside of a test station in the deep desert, I can see them trying to do that. Although, and I haven't tested it this week, I tested it in the public test branch. Like, it was difficult to shove vehicles in the air, and you couldn't pin somebody down. But I didn't try to shove any vehicles on the ground. Like, if you leave a buggy somewhere, people will try to shove it out into the desert and thumper it. I've seen that. I lost track of where that medium spice boom was too. I'm gonna try to go find that one that just popped over here. I've got the fuel. So, and I really think a lot of that is like transplant behavior. And I call it transplant. It's like people play other games, and though they exist, and there's all this. I'm not going to call it the culture, but I guess those games have a culture where they have, the developers and the studios have eventually just decided, well, that's what it's going to be. And everybody who goes and plays it knows it's exactly what it's going to be. And they're still fighting in this game with the developers in some cases, trying to turn this game into some other game, right? So they come here and they go, this is the way PvP, it works everywhere. And the developers say, well, that's not what we're doing here. And so they're looking for ways to do that, and I think those are exploits. The developers seem to think they're exploits too. Funcom says they're exploits. They call it griefing, and then they patch them out. And I think those people will just consistently get patched out of the game. Unless, of course, Funcom decides otherwise, right? But it's interesting. Funcom was acquired by Tencent within the last few years, so now they're part of a much bigger organization, and it'll be interesting to see where that goes, right? I don't know what Tencent is like, but they are all professionally managed. Yeah, see, there's more worms coming over this stuff. The guy down there still popping 25. So here comes the worm. That was a fast, yeah, he popped and he came straight over, didn't he? We're gonna go down, man. We're gonna get some more spiciness. I could use some spiciness, man. He's almost got that whole field cleared. Well, a lot of people do, right? Don't need much, but... I have found that if I do 4 or 5 of them at a time, I don't attract a worm, but you can't, that's just a cooperation thing. Like some people do it different ways. Walk without rhythm, then you don't attract a worm. So you can expect that these are going to go fast during the day, right? Or not during the day, but at night they're going to be... And you do have to listen for thumpers, because somebody could show up over here and throw a thumper down really fast, couldn't they? It's all good. I don't even know if my microphone's working, but... Let's go, man. There's more spice. There's more spicy goodness to be had. The biggest change for me in like harvesting spice was I finally stopped popping these things so close to each other. Okay, so there's another guy coming in. We need to listen for that and make sure he doesn't, he might just be picking up a little bit. I'm out of here. He landed close, so maybe those guys are picking up. They might be together. Like, I would not land that close to somebody else unless I knew him. So maybe we're also going to be getting like, you know, Haga Basin Sheol level. Worm attraction, right? Gotta watch that guy. That's an assault. Yeah, there's 3 of us here. We're gonna attract some noise, so... There's a carrier. Okay, I'm just gonna watch this guy. Yeah, I'm just gonna watch this. I think you should take it. I don't care. Like, I'm not worried about it. I just want to see this. Like, I've watched some carriers before, but he's gonna drop that thing right there on the little sand. I like it. I don't even know what my inventory is like right now. I'm pretty low. Yeah, I don't have that much, but... So he's gonna hang out there. Yeah, there's the worm, right? Like, that sandcrawler doesn't attract the worm as much as we do, right? With our little compactors. So now we're going to have to build bases. I'm going back to LG's comment, LG1T. We're going to have to build bases that... we're going to have to be really far away from everything, aren't we? Yeah, I'll tell you, this makes me nervous as hell, right? Oh, that's pretty cool. And I don't want to farm that stuff up on the edge. I'm going to be done with this right now. This was a more than sufficient experiment for my purposes. So now we're going to have, you know, like any base you build can't be close to the sand. Like, it's going to have to be like high up and on the rocks or something. I guess is what we're looking at now. It depends on where you are, right? Like I tell you, I would hate to be, and this is just my general impression, I would hate to be on the European servers with some of the behavior between countries in Europe. And this is, I'm not trying to malign the Europeans, but there are complaints about the Russians and the way they play, and there are very real like geopolitical conflicts happening, right? And some people are pretty aggressive in different ways. And there are servers out there, I don't think it's on, I don't think ours is that way, that are very calm. People describe experiences that I think are bizarre. I'm like, is it really that way? They're like, oh yeah, we all cooperate in the deep desert. I'm like, okay, that's kind of neat. I don't, I kind of believe them. I'd like to see it, but it is kind of odd. It feels kind of odd. So there was another spice pop out here, but let's assume it was a small one and maybe somebody already got it. I wasn't paying close enough attention to know where it's at. Oh, it could be way over here. Oh, crud. And I'm going 94 kilometers an hour. That's not good. I'm just going to fly over here and then off the map to the south and get out. Go back over to the base, pull everything out, and take it back to Haga Basin for processing. At least what I can carry. I don't have an assault up there. I think, though, here's another difference for me is I've already gone through the phase where, like, for a couple of weeks I was just building on the A row. Boy, it seems like forever ago, right? I was building on the A row, and then we moved out further into the deep desert once they sectioned it off. For several weeks was building a fully functional base with processing capacity, water, power, everything. And and then the past couple of weeks I've pulled back from that, and I'm just building just a very simple forward operating base, a place to land and kind of store your stuff. So like with the recent changes, I might go back to bringing a Solido replicator version out and building a big base again, bringing out all the materials. It's still a lot of work to bring everything out. Like I was bringing 3 or 4 assault Thopter loads out. That wasn't great. And at the end of the week, it was like becoming a job, right? Like it's getting kind of ridiculous. Yeah, I think wherever that was. Looking for a small spice bloom in the desert that you saw from a great distance is kind of funny, but how about if we leave right there? Is that it? That's what I want right there. But I think I've kind of at least proven to myself what I was hoping to find out, right? Which was we definitely saw a medium spice bloom in the desert in row D. They are there. I mean, I looked at the map before. I knew they were being reported. Saw one, got some materials, did that. Oh man, that's wild. 14 assault nodes? Yeah, I can't do that. That's what was killing me. I got up to 4 or 5 at most, and I was checking out. And it's not like, and we have a small guild, and we have several members, and it's not that you just have to find some people. It's coordinating people's times. So I'm the one who comes out so far every Tuesday morning, and I'm the one that comes out every Tuesday morning and scouts out and finds a location, and that's going to change too, which is fine. And then I was, I would turn around and people would volunteer. They're like, I'll help, we'll help you bring it out. We'll bring assault loads out, but I would do it in advance. And so I would bring a bunch out there. Revs 9K01. Transferring stuff, yeah. They need to make containers you can fly in and out with carrier. I agree with that 100%. I'll say that at this point, or up until this point, I have had no strong desire to build a carrier. I mean, I know there's an achievement for it, and it seems interesting, but given the state of the deep desert and the PvE, at least on our server, where if anybody sees you with a carrier, they were swarming you and trying to take you down. It wasn't the kind of vision for fighting over spices, and we don't have a big enough group to do it up by ourselves, and I wasn't building alliances with anybody, etc. So I had no point in building a carrier. Didn't have any real interest in it. But if they made it something you could use to bring your base back and forth, and you could carry, you could use the storage in it and maybe carry something. I don't even need that, right? Just if you can just use it for storage as well, that'd be great. But maybe that's already possible, and maybe that's what I've been overlooking anyway, but I was just stuck with the assault, and at least mentally as well. But I'd love the carrier to become useful for that, and then I'd be building bigger bases out in the DD every week too, and that'd be great. It'd be a lot of fun. Wow, that's a lot. I like it. So you can build whatever you want. Now you just need to run test stations and, full set of gear. And, and then according to what I've heard, if you're a PvE player, we'll all quit at that point. We'll all just be done and we'll show up. Not me. I'm still playing on a on a private server as well. So I literally played the same game multiple times. It doesn't bother me. I like it. So I think it's a good way to go. I guess technically speaking, this far in, 8 weeks now? It's probably week 11, like that. Get close to 3 months. There's still things I haven't done because I didn't rush to them. There are still options I can address. I don't run nearly as many caves as I'd like. I haven't had the time to do it. But I would do more. I don't feel like my end game is currently even, kind of maxed out at this point. I didn't go back to my other location, did I? Yeah, I have enough to... I'll start some processing over here, just for the sake of it. We only have a couple hundred of that here. I don't have any fiber. That stuff's all still sitting up at the base. But, we have the option to do it, which is pretty cool. I like that. It's all good. What do I need to do? I think none of my gear's really wrecked. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. I'm still fine on fuel. I can bring some stuff back here. I'll take the assault out. Oh, hold on. That would be silly. If you're... That was fun. I just bailed out. I didn't need to do that. If I'm going to take the assault out, I need to pocket that bad boy, right? I didn't know there was material in it. Let's go put that in a box somewhere. Plastinium ingots. How are we doing on water? Yeah, we're fine. So we'll get another 100 out of that. Yeah, we're not doing thousands like you are, but Probably need to go get some more bodies at some point in time. What am I running? I'm running the, I'm running kind of old school water. I don't even know if I've got filter material, do I? Yeah, I can make filters. Just give me 4 of them for now. I'm not going to get too crazy about that. I started on July 5th. I'll hit 400 hours tonight. You started a month in, right? So this game was out. I thought it was out in June. I lose track. I think Steam also reports, I don't know, like it feels like it's over-reporting the hours I have. Steam says across my public and private plays, I have 800 hours, and that's a lot of time. And I think some of that but I don't think it's much. I might be AFK while stuff's processing, right? Because I don't always log out. There's no need to log out of this game. There's not that much player. Not that many players. So I think I AFK a little bit, but I don't think it's that much. But I have a few hours in it. I do like the private side is a lot of fun too. I really think so. Split that, please. The guy on the private server is he's in the deep desert as well, but he hasn't built much. The problem you run into on the private server, and I didn't realize this until I got to it, right, was okay, I have water going. Let me go ahead and fill up my own water here. The problem I run into in the private server is you need spice-infused plastinium to make the recipes. And so unless you can find people on the private server to team up with, you're left trying to get into the testing stations with much fewer people available to help. Hold on a second here. I forgot. We now have filled containers. Let's do that. Yep. However, there are people to play on the private server, so it's not like you can't find people. So don't. I think it's easier on the public server, I guess is what I'm suggesting. I just know that the number of people, there's like 60 private servers on G-Portal within our world that roll up to a single deep desert. And when I look at DuneStatus.com, there are very few players at any given point in time, concurrent players on those private servers. Just a couple at a time, right? Very small groups of people play. When they roll up to the deep desert, it's another small group. So finding people to run with up there, I think you have to sit around a little longer is my experience. Literally go out to a test station and announce, hey, I'm out here if anybody wants to do it, and be willing to just chill for a while. And I mean like 30 minutes, just, or longer. And you just hang out waiting for, at least one other person, unless you get to the point where your gear's good enough, or you're good enough, right? And you can do the test stations out in the deep desert by yourself. I've gone into shipwrecks by myself and cleared significant parts of them so I can get the raw materials. Like, the fights just take longer. The fights are grindier, right? It takes longer. I have to set up more. I have to be a little more careful. I have to have, plenty of healing. But then you get to the final room and you're going to have to go in and you're going to have to, at least in a shipwreck, I think it's just one wave. Like, you got to go in and fight 4 or 5 enemies out there in a shipwreck to get to the loot room, which isn't terrible. It's better than doing 5 waves by yourself. So the private servers have that kind of going against them. Maybe that, maybe they'll find some way to make that a little easier in the future, but I'm not sure that's what you want. You do want some cooperation, I think. But on the public server, you saw it earlier, I think in chat here too, people were just like, you know, they were calling out in chat just like any place else. I'm going to go run this test station. Does anybody want to go? I'll be waiting outside the green door. So surprised, LG. Borderline or baseline toxic. Yeah. There are games where that is normal, and I don't play them myself. I know other people do. I have my own opinions about that, you know. But at that point, you start to get into, you know, there's a whole discussion. This has been going on for ages, you know. I mentioned like D&D earlier. I remember long ago where they came after games and they said, oh, if you do this in this game, you're going to do it in real life. And, you know, there's always a vilification of behavior in games as to how it might work on the outside. But I think there are some games out there where the style is very, well, I mean, just the game itself is built around what I would consider to be a predatory behavior pattern. But if every single person who plays that game knows exactly that about, you know, like that's what the game is about, then I guess I don't have a problem with it. I'm not worried about those people in that game if they're all there and they all know that's what they're doing. Dune, I still think Dune's problem is, you know, I can go find you right now quotes from Joel Bylos and Scott Jr., the executive producer, that describe PvP as a consent-based game mechanic. If you want to, you can. If you find yourself in a situation, you should be able to leave unless you have really screwed up. And there are a bunch of people around here that think that just crossing the line is really screwing up. They have some bizarre views of it, and I think they all come from other games. That's where that attitude comes from. I just keep leveling, don't I? And I shouldn't be doing that. I'm not flying right. But I think this game just got a lot more relaxed. But as you already identified, they'll find more tactics. They'll patch them out. I probably haven't mentioned this, but I will. Is I think if if that ever happens, you should report them. I'm a huge fan of reporting people. Graphite Dev. Yeah, I didn't really want to go there, but I get it. Like, I have a spiritual philosophy that says if you let stuff into your head, it affects you everywhere, right? Like if I foster and encourage myself to have toxic thoughts and aggressive and, you know, that kind of stuff, that stuff will bleed into lots of places in life, but a fair amount of society is not really kind of on board. That said, I have seen some people on this server who have made some comments. I've seen some of their comments on the Funcom Discord, and if I worked with them, I would probably not want to work with them. I wouldn't want to know them in real life because of the things that they've said about the, you know, what they do in the game. And I'm like, there are people I would not associate with. I wouldn't associate with them in the game. I wouldn't associate with them in real life if I knew it was them. I think people, when there are real-world consequences, they tamp down some of their crazier thoughts and behavior, but in a game it doesn't really work that way. Okay, this base is not really assault-sized. Okay, let's step away and see what it does. That's not the worst it could be. That's not terrible. I'm not going to complain about that. It is what it is. Oh, I want whatever spice is up here first. That's what I came here for. Look at those. Oh, I didn't even leave much up here, did I? And I hate leaving all this stuff up here all week. I guess I should take that and fix it. Oh, I'm going to put that in my inventory. Leave the building materials. Okay, and I can carry the rest of that. Oh, that's interesting. I don't need those. I'll take those. That stuff's fine. I don't need any of that stuff. I think that's extra pentashield material, maybe? There's nothing in there. This thing's probably at 14 days. Oh, actually. I do like they did add these extra options here. That's cool. 14 days, and there's like 4 left, right? So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, 4 days. That's good. That's fine. So we have that guy, and he's chilling here. You know, I was going to go out and do some more. I shouldn't have put that stuff in my inventory first. So I can leave the assault here. It's fine. And I don't need these things. And I don't need... All that stuff can stay there. Technically, I don't even need that, do I? Do I have a compactor? I have a compactor, I have a scanner, I have boots, blah, 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 blah. Everything is generally fine. It's all good. Oh, come on. I thought I jumped in there before it took off. Where do we want to go from here? I don't want to go all the way across the entire map. And I can, but... I'm trying to watch my calendar here. I try to go 5 hours, but with the I have problems. I have an appointment I have to go to. I have to get those checked. It's just my annual. And now I'm gonna have to spend some time figuring out what to do about Twitch. I'm not giving up on Twitch. I'm gonna sign up for a streaming service or something, like a dual streaming service or something. Or I'm going to find another plugin or some other way to dual stream. I'm not giving up on it. I like it. Technically speaking, thank you to anybody and everybody who watches the channel and also subscribed and followed on Twitch and occasionally watches over there. Hit affiliate last month, and they actually just sent me a note. They sent me a little money. I'm going to take all that money and I'm going to invest it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take everything I got from Twitch this month. First time ever. They sent me like, I don't know, $50, which was pretty cool. And I'm going to use that to sign up for a service so that I can dual stream. There you go. Problem solved. Now I just have to technically figure out how to make it work. Which shouldn't be too terrible, but... Hard to report them when they do it at night when everyone's sleeping and it says environment. Yes, you are 100% correct. You are 100% correct. However, I know that when you do the reporting, it records your time, time, date, location, etc., and you. There might be a way. I don't know what information Funcom has, so I might still report it anyway, just to be able to say, look, we think this is what happened, and we think it happened at this time. Our Thopter was inside, and it got pushed out. Do you think they're being honest? D4 is cleared. Come get your loots. That's O-behaved. He has not been crazy. If that makes any sense. Like, he's been pretty rational for weeks. Like, I've never seen him out on the edge. Like, some people are just nutty. Let's all go. It's gonna take me forever to get there. I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit, says Bronzo. What clever. Oh, how nice. The cat found me in my new office. That's what he wants. He can't reach the dust, though. Yeah, I think, back on the reporting thing, the, Funcom encourages people to report anything they think is a violation of the end-user license agreement. Some people will tell you, you know, don't do it. But I guess here's my take. People who are exploiting and griefing, or just abusers in real life, the first thing they try to get you to do is accept that it's normal behavior and that you're supposed to just pretend that it's not a problem. The second thing they want you to do is not tell anybody. Funcom says tell us if you think somebody's griefing. So, don't buy the BS. Let them sort it out. Tell them, let them sort it out. They may not do anything. I think that's the thing, like the expectation I have is I report stuff and I don't expect Funcom to tell me anything about what's going on, right? This happened. Like I reported not that many, a couple people putting bases over nodes, right? And, you know, they just sent me a nice note back that said, it was a generic note that they send people when you, that's messed up, it's not even rendering. They sent me a generic note back. It's the same one that they send you when you say, like, oh, somebody blocked a path, right? Right? And you're like, it just says, there are many ways to get around places in the desert. Thanks for reporting this. And then, you know, a week later, what's their answer, right? What's up, Beast Life? Everybody's going. I have no idea what's going to happen here. Is there loot? Can we get the loots? I don't know. Who's that one? Bronzo! That's Bronzo. He's going to risk it for the biscuit. I love all these. Check these out, man. Here's hoping. Yeah. Where did he go? Is this where the loot goes? I got that, didn't I? Maybe I just missed it. Nope. What did I get? Regis triple shot. Thank you guys, you're the best. You're pros. I don't need any of that stuff, I'm out of here. Who's behaving? Do I have water? I don't know. I have water. I don't know. How do you give somebody water? I got 6 spice-infused plastinium, a Regis triple-shot repeating rifle. That's cool. That's a nice rifle. I'll build it. Is that proximity? That is proximity. How do you give water? I don't know how you give water. I'd like my leader John back, thank you. That was my thought, like, you give them your leader John and then they can take a drink, and then if they give it back, that's good. I was looking to see if I had one, like, am I carrying a cheap one? Like, I'd love to carry a small one. There you go. There you go. Winners. Deep desert people. These are cool bases. Where am I going now? Oh, I don't even have a... Oh, I do. There's a section of E I have not mapped. Like the one right above me. Do I have... Whatever, man. I guess I should go over here. I'll come back and do that one later. I had 30 survey probes, and I have 2 left. That doesn't sound right, does it? That's all I have. I had 30 at the start of today. Hey, Stormhawk! Nice to see you over here. My Twitch stream got exploded, so I know you are over on Twitch more often. I still have to... I think I'm going to come up with a... I think I'm going to sign up with one of those multi-streaming services. But I started the stream like I have been for, I don't know, 6+ months. Dual streaming YouTube and Twitch, and it fell apart again. Like the encoding, like there's something going on my machine. Just blew up. I bailed out of the YouTube side and just did Twitch, and it was fine for a while. So then I bailed out of the Twitch side and I brought up the YouTube again, and it's been fine the whole time. Getting them both to work at the same time. Something's going wrong with my drivers or OBS or the plugin, or no idea. I've spent a bunch of time testing it. I've been able to test it too, like with private chats and the bandwidth test on Twitch, and it works, but don't know. Couldn't tell you. Evidently I didn't test the right thing, because when I started up again today, it just blew up. So, work in progress. Glad you dropped in over here. Appreciate it. That's a cool looking base too. I'll give them that. So why are... Okay, they're not on the edges. This looks like it's probably okay to just land and map. That's all I really care to do. It's a nice looking rock. See if I can get this up and running. I've been mapping out the deep desert too. Found a medium spice bloom. I think I saw, we saw another one. Might have been small, but I couldn't find it again. It was off in the middle of nowhere. Tons of, you know, as everybody's reporting, tons of stravidium and titanium just freaking everywhere. Like everywhere in the whole place. It's just crazy. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way, but it is just, compared to the way it was, it is very different. Okay, where is it? It's right there. That is going to be in a PvP zone, I guarantee you, man. I'm not chasing it right now. There are a lot of people out here. We had at least 3 people in a medium spice bloom earlier. Started with one guy and maybe a scout, and then I showed up, and then I think there was at least an assault, and then somebody brought in a carrier and a crawler, which was fun, you know. There's another ship over here. I didn't know this was here. I wonder if O Behaved cleared that thing himself. Or if he had somebody with him. I do not know. You're the best, Stormhawk. I like that. I like compliments. I was planning to do, I was going to do some subscriber-only stuff over on Twitch, too. I still might do that, because I just put up a members-only video on YouTube, and so I want to cover the same content. Oh, hello. Hello, Mr. Control Point. I want to cover the same thing on the Twitch side, because I haven't... hold on, can I just land down here and map this? I want to be able to do the same thing over on Twitch, because I have, you know, actually, I have subscribers over there now, which is cool. And I want to do that kind of insider content and updates. Although, Henry, nice to see you, sir. Let me get this done. 15 meters. Go stand on top of somebody's building. Oh, that's where I need to go, right there, isn't it? Would you mind if I landed on your building over here? Yeah, I kind of am just going to have to do it, man. I mean, out of respect, I'm just going to try to land on something else. Oh, there you go. I did it. Good for me. I'm seeing like half the comment. Henry says, went to an old save, power down, walls mostly gone. And I got, it looks like it's cut off. I didn't see the other half of your message there about the griefers. Lots changed. I think there's a lot of shifting going on right now, although there's still some stuff happening, right? We've had in chat here some reports of, you know, they're still pushing vehicles out into the sand, and they're trying to use thumpers to get halves of, you know, parts of buildings torn up, and so they'll just keep, you know, they'll keep chasing them around. It's like playing, I think it's like playing whack-a-mole. Oh, there's 2 stations over there. I'm gonna fly over those because I didn't test them earlier, and that's what I want to do. I want to fly over those at 600 meters and see if I get flagged. Or I guess I'll fly over at 650 or something. And I thought I just saw one, right? Isn't there one over here? Yeah, there it is, right there. So I'm at 600 meters. Yeah, I'm definitely in range. Before, this would have gotten me flagged. Oh, and it still does. Yeah, so 600 meters. Control points, you can be flagged. But on the shipwreck, well, maybe that shipwreck was bugged. Sometimes they don't get those right, so maybe the shipwrecks, but the control points, I was 600 plus meters overhead, and it still flags you. The shipwreck I was over, it didn't flag me PvP until I got to within like 400 meters, so. Oh, very cool, Stormhawk. Yeah, I'm not helping on the Twitch drops today. That's one of the primary reasons I was dual streaming too, is because everybody does their drops over there, and so I like to have it up there at least. But I'll figure it out. The drops for this are more Chome observer pieces, and they'll be up till September 4th, I think. So watch anybody. I prefer it when you watch me, but get what you need wherever you need to get it. It's perfectly okay. Okay, I don't know why I came down here. I'm gonna go back and get the assault and take it back. I might have just enough time. Can I still do this? Okay. Do that. There we go. Excellent. A beautiful morning in the desert. I don't see any ships, any fallen ships. I don't see any spice. Yeah, Henry, I think, you know, the Funcom is just, they're in the cycle, right? So they fix some things, they close some exploits, and then the same fringe group of people who are just here to kind of see what they can get away with, try it. But there's less of it. I don't know what that's about. Oh, it's that Spronkle guy. This Spronkle guy gives away water. But I saw this entire exchange the other day where somebody accused him of hacking into their base. It's like he showed up later and he told somebody else that they owed them a fine or something. There's something weird going on there. Guy gives away water, but expects to be tipped in spice melange, I think. And there's some crazy drama. Okay, how about that guy? Hello. Is there no worm around here? Has anybody gotten that door? That's the door I want right there, man. No shield, please. They're supposed to fix that shield problem too, aren't they? Pincushion helmet. Check that out, man. We like those, we like those, we like those. We like those and those. Take the improved. Take the slag. Can I have room for that? Okay, cool, man. I don't know why I picked that up. Pincushion helmet recipe. PvE section of the deep desert. I might be slightly paranoid, so I'm just going to land on the other side of this out of an abundance of caution. Here's the door. There we go. Let's put those in there, please. Give me that, give me that, give me those, give me those, give me those. Take those. Do I have room for more? I don't care about the drill shot. I'll take it. And my shield didn't come on. So many times in the past, my shield would like come on, even though I had entered a vehicle and exited. I think they were picking up like it was on before or something like that. And they were supposed to have fixed that, so. Yeah, that's I think a pincushion helmet. That sounds like a great find to me. I'm with you, man. Like, I'm not complaining. So you could just come to the deep desert, clear ships. Oh, I didn't do any. I was going to show the treasure hunting thing. If anybody's not done that before, but you just kind of fly low, and if you go to the maps, and I think LG mentioned this earlier, like if you go to the maps online, you can find out where all the treasure is dropping as well, and you can just chart a path. What I noticed last week is it was kind of along the southern half of the E row, and you could just pick up treasure after treasure after treasure after treasure, and you get all sorts of goodies. Oh man, I'm gonna have to find a spot. I think I see a spot. I don't know. It's going north. Maybe I don't need a spot, do I? Yeah, let's just land anyway. It's good practice. I think that thing is kind of going north, but... Is this cover? Maybe. Sheltered. I don't even think it's coming my way, is it? Like, I don't have a warning on it. So what do I have? So I got a Regis triple shot repeating rifle going through that test station after Obehave ran through there. Give Obehave a follow. He's online. I think he's a Twitch. I think he might be more Twitch. I don't need that. Drop that stuff. The rest of that stuff's just miscellaneous. Yeah, it's not even coming my way. Somebody is setting up a dueling arena. I think that's happened before. That's a pretty sure sign that you could, that maybe Funcom could do something too. I saw a really nice one set up on, I don't know whose stream it was I was watching. They had set up a PvP dueling arena, and they were right on the edge of, I think, like a control point. So, like, they had an entire base that was in a PvE area, and just the arena for fighting was inside the PvP area. It was just really, they lined it up perfectly. They did such a nice job. A lot farther than my base than I thought I was going to be. Am I low enough to scan? I could. We'll see if I can do some treasure hunting on the way. I don't think there's I don't think there's treasure out here. Or there's not much, but... I might be too high. My altitude might be too great. I did not mean to imply that I might be too high. So to speak. I don't know why I feel like I should censor myself on YouTube because I worry that they'll, like, you know, demonetize stuff and things like that. And then I saw a notice last week that said you can now curse in the first 7 seconds and they won't demonetize you anymore. And I thought, well, F, right? You know, I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't realize that you could actually, you know, just kind of be a little more open with your language in the first place. I thought they were kind of prudish. You know, like I thought they would punish you for saying the bad words or something. I still suspect they will. I don't trust them. There's another thopter going by. That's that place is pretty built up, isn't it? Yeah, I didn't realize I was this far away from my base. It's crazy. Okay, let's go down. Let's get down another level and. I don't think I'm going to see anything down here. I'm in row D. I'm going to go... No, I have to take a flight back. My base the week before last was on a primary route. People kept flying by all the time, treasure hunting. I don't see anything out here right now. Is the ship dropping in? Oh well, where is it? There it is. Where's it going? Oh, it just disappeared. I guess I'd have to fly north for it. I can't even... Can I land on this thing? Yes, I can. Where is it? There it is. It came back. It disappeared and it came back. Okay, so we're just going to assume it's going to drop off there to the northwest a little bit. So let's land and dump everything. So I used to build bases that were big enough to hold all the multiple scouts. I see fire. Anybody coming? We're pretty close. You'd have to be on this thing to get there. You'd have to be closer than me. What do you have for me? Oh, I can't reach it? I had to crouch down. That's interesting. I never get the angle right on this. Well, I mean, I always get the angle right eventually. I never get it right the first moment. Okay. Again, abundance of caution. Going to the other side. Can I even reach it? Sometimes this side is out of reach. I don't think I can reach that, honestly. Like I could land on top of, I could stand on top of my ornithopter, maybe. I'm so close. Okay, got that. That. What do you have? I'll take that. Take those, take those. I'll break that down, can't I? Yep. Okay, that's my last catch for the morning. Just because they dropped it in my lap right next to me. What did I get? I got some kind of wings, didn't I? I didn't even look. I just picked them up. Hummingbird wing modules. Cool. So those hummingbird wing modules, are those, is that for the assault? Are those for the, I don't remember which one they are. Hummingbird, it's a Mark 6, that's nice. Let's learn it. I'm not going to sell it. Not selling that either. Not selling that helmet either. I need the chest piece though. That's the part that I'm missing. If I want a full pincushion suit, but okay, let's do this. Let's see if what will fit in here. So I was going to take these with me. Let's see what I could put on the assault ornithopter. Can I take all? It's interesting. I don't care about those. Yeah, I'll leave this stuff. That's fine. We'll see what I can carry with me. We don't care about those. We don't care about those. Ah! Red. Didn't realize those were down there. Okay, what can I take? Water tubes. Oh, I definitely want the dust. Oh, that's pretty good. I don't think I have a cruncher here. I think I have everything in my inventory. Oh, I don't. That's everything. It's everything here except the stuff that are building materials. Let's go south. Oh, hold on. Have a drink. Fuel up. It's all good. It's all Mark V. This is Mark V ship. Arab wave? What do you mean? That pincushion's just tier 6. I'm not sure I understand the question. Give me some altitude. Killing me. That looks like a small. I'm gonna tell myself that's a small because I'm just gonna keep flying. But it's right next to my base too, so like would have been 500 spice. I'm not worried about it. I think there's gonna be. I think there are plenty of resources. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think until I build it. I've not built any of the pincushion stuff. I guess I should soon. I have to go back and figure out how much of the plastinium I have. The spice-infused plastinium. I might have 40 or 50. I don't even know what it takes to build all that. I haven't totaled up the ingredient list yet either. The materials list, and I need to do that. Just do this. Hands off, fly down. So we got everything mapped out. I literally have everything mapped out from E. Might be one sector in E, but D down to A. I'm at 184. I get a little bit of experience on that. Not a lot. Yeah, there's a good site called like Dune Gaming Tools, Dune.gaming tools as well. That's also good. Whoever does that, that's an incredible site. So I can look them all up. It hasn't been urgent. Maybe that's what I should do. I'll craft them. I'll do the recipe. I'm going to have to wrap up pretty quickly here. But I'll go total up all the recipes when I'm off stream and then decide what I can build or what I need to go farm more resources for. I think I'm going to have to come up here and maybe start doing that testing station again and again and again, which is okay. Be a lot of fun. I'll go in there with a group and fight. It's a fun time. But I probably also want to circle back and make sure if anybody in the guild wants to come up and do it too. Because if I can get, if we can get 2 or 3 of us out of the guild to do it, and then we pick up some extras, it should be a piece of cake. We'll just go do it every hour. Actually, I don't think you have to wait an hour for it, but oh no. Okay, get me out of here. I might have to fly back over to my own base to find out if I have any more spice-infused plastinium. When they first put the test stations in the deep desert, I ran them for like that first week, and then I kind of stopped doing it regularly. Well, I think what happened was 1 week the testing station was in the PvE area, but when you walked about 20 meters into it, it switched to PvP. And then 1 week, the testing station was completely in like a zone with a control point. But then I think, you know, a week later there was a shipwreck that was all PvE, and I think the loot was PvE too. Like it wasn't even, you know, single loot, you know, one person. It was like everybody who came in got it. That would be interesting in the future. I always think that's a test. I think they're like, you know, they're going to have shipwrecks that are just PvE shipwrecks at some point in time too. They can do whatever they want, and then they can just decide what kind of loot they want to put in those pieces. As long as it attracts more players and is a manageable number, they win. Funcom wins. Get my head clipped off. Yeah, all that can come in here. I am going to keep the, I'm going to keep those for myself, by the way, though. That's full. That's interesting. I'm going to take the ship manifests, put them in my box over here, because I like to keep them for the, keep that too. I like to keep them for the Landsrad, because sometimes they're a very easy turn-in for a very nice piece of gear. I didn't bring back many other resources. We could farm a lot more resources. I didn't even have much spice up there, did I? Oh, there's enough to run. I'll just run another little small batch. I don't know if we're close enough yet. Yeah, we're not even. We're just barely over halfway to enough for a large refiner. 750 plastinium, and I don't even think we're trying. We're at 750 on that. Like we didn't, like neither. No one that I know of has gone up there and literally like thrown a buggy on the ground and collected thousands. And you can. I think you should. Actually, I forgot. So I wanted to hang on to that. That's not important, but I guess I'll put that somewhere. We'll crunch those guys up. I need to repair this survey probe. Well, I don't have to, but I'd like to. The adept drill shot and that. Okay, let's take care of those real quickly. That's an easy fix. Where's the cruncher? I managed to pull that off that time. I like that. Pop the scout out into the air, land on it, and jump inside before it hits the ground. It's good practice. Oh, I see what you're saying, Airwave. Yeah, Google it. Base is still over here. Actually, I haven't been doing much resource collection at my own base over here because I've been putting everything in the guild base, but there's a couple resources I do keep kind of pull back for myself because I want to build some gear. Try to keep the guild base focused on vehicles. I have 47 spice-infused plastinium dust. I don't have much of anything else over here. What is the, what's the cost to build this stuff? So I can build, let's go down to the plastinium rank. Oh, that's the Wayfinder helm. I don't care about that. Was that the one I just got? I thought it was a pincushion helmet. Maybe it was the Wayfinder helm. That's the one I just got and just learned. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. Just let me think about this. Idaho's charge, I need 14. 13, so that's 27. 37. 44. 53. So I am 6 spice-infused plastinium dust short of building this set. Plastinium ingots aren't going to be a problem. We don't have any problem with that anymore, and the spice isn't going to be a problem anymore. Ballistic weave fabric, got plenty of that. Silicone block, it's not a big deal. Yeah, so I just need to run the test station out in the deep desert one more time probably and get at least 6 of those. Actually, it'd be nice if I could get 16, because then I would be close to building the Regis triple shot repeating rifle too, which would be pretty cool. What's it got? What are the stats on that bad boy? 358 damage per shot, clip size of 9. Does this shoot 3 at a time? It does. It's a triple shot, so there you go. Well, I think that's going to be it for me today. Thank you very much for joining. Sorry very much for the miscue at the beginning, the technical problems on Twitch. Since there's nobody on Twitch watching right now, I will get that up and running. I want to be able to help out with the drops and things like that. Plus, I appreciate the Twitch community that has been growing, and they've been fantastic over there as well. So I definitely appreciate that. If you haven't had a chance to do so, please hit the like button on the video. If you're not subscribed, please do that so you get alerts in the future. Otherwise, I'll try to get back on as soon as I can sort through the next step of this. If I have to, I'm going to come back just on YouTube for a little bit, but I think I can solve the problem on the Twitch side too. Like I said, they did their first payout for me, so that's I didn't think about that. I can go subscribe and try that other service. It's not going to be a big deal. And if I can get it up and it works for Twitch too, and if it stabilizes things and I'm only sending one stream up, it could be better overall. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do in the first place. So we'll just follow the lead of the universe wherever it takes us. Hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. If I'm not back on time, or if I'm not back online in the next day or so, this is Kineer, and I'm out of here. Thanks.